Lost Colony is out, and it's a great time for me to be able to show some of my artwork and some behind the scenes stuff. So I wanted to start with this vampire here and talk about maybe concepting, and I could even talk about what it takes to get into the industry. When I first started, I thought I was going to be a character artist, and it's really hard to make it into that slot, and I think you have to be more flexible than that. I mean, the competition's super steep for character artists, and so I just started focusing other things. I started really focusing environments, and I started focusing assets, special effects, anything, that could benefit the company. Being a generalist, I think, is what got me the position, and so but I still get to do it, and I still get to do character art all the time. I get to do dinosaurs. I've done character art for Atlas, like other games as well. And so I wanted to show some of that character stuff that I get to do every once in a while. This was an original pitch. Um, they didn't ask me necessarily to do this. They were just asking for ideas. And so other ideas came down the pipe, and then they ended up liking this one. So we circled back. When I first did it, I had shown faces, and I was using Nosferatu as reference, and so I painted this. That's the snarl I do on almost all my faces. And so that was the original idea, is that they would just have this and have gaunt looking, like vampire looking faces. That didn't quite work out. Most of them have helmets, if not all of them. There was a lot of ideas why we go through this that don't actually make it to the game. Like, we wanted to do neon rain and all kinds of stuff. We just didn't have time for. On this one, I suggested, hey, we should have some wings that just pop out, but they could be like, I don't know. I'm seeing like maybe jellyfish type movement, something ethereal, magical, whimsical type thing that can just sprout. But they ended up not having them. This is a version of this guy. That one came before this one. I just painted the head onto this one. So, and you can see they're basically the same. And going through, talking about concept, uh, once you start a design, which I had here, you can see I started doing these curves, and this is what people liked, I think, were these elegant curves and cuts inside the armor. And so once I had that, I knew once I got to the queen and king, I really needed to lean into that idea because that's what they liked. And so I kept those curves going down, the angles, and all the cool curves on all the armor. This one, Jesus and I kind of tackled together. And so just trying to stay consistent on all of these curves here. I'm pretty loose when I paint, so I just show like some details. I'm suggestive, and then Taiji is an amazing 3D modeler. He kind of just took it from there and nailed it, and she looks great in game. But you can see a lot of the same language, and that needs to be consistent. So once you become a concept artist, you need to learn how to carry styles all the way throughout the game. And so you can see that here on the king as well. I think the king came before the queen. So that first armor piece, he's first, and then I went to this, and then same thing. So once I had those curves in there, and sometimes I'll even just copy paste off the other piece and put it on here and just kind of see where if I can reuse it or where I can work it. And so I wanted light coming from behind them. Now they needed to be far more complicated than this guy, and so. And we had to do back shots, and so we're doing different views once we get to this. But after you get the front nailed, it really takes away a lot of the work and makes it a lot easier to visualize the rest of the piece. So this is the king, and then I did bring in this guy right here. This is maybe you haven't seen this one either. So same thing. So and when I'm working my tiers, this is what he ended up being like with that helmet and all that stuff. And so you can see the blades are a little bit different. And then I think this guy was next. Different materials, went for leather boots instead. Still had some metal, real thick fabric with metal, and still has that curved. I got the faceplate in there, which I really wanted to do. I don't know if little details like this got in there, but maybe they did. And then this guy, I feel like I've seen something like this before, maybe like Eye of Sauron-ish. And I've seen other concepts where they just have spikes everywhere, but I wanted something eyeless and maybe even reminding me a little bit of Chronicles of Riddick, the guys who can cast their gaze into space or something. But you can see a lot of that same style of these curves are being carried over into all of these. We needed different. When you're doing character design, they want silhouette difference. You want to be able to spot a character and what tier they are from a distance if you're just barely seeing them. And so each silhouette needs to be different. So horns versus these right here versus a hood. It makes it easy to spot what's going on. Capes are irrelevant. So without the capes, you need to be able to spot what they are. And so this actually feels a lot like Chronicles of Riddick to me, the way I did the style here. So I loved all that stuff. I put one together with these three just to show size different. And then of course, like low tier art, not art, low tier characters. These guys are kind of like slaved. All I need to do was like copy paste a picture of someone with muscle onto my silhouette. And I rarely even do muscle anymore. Most of the time it's just a model and I'll put it on there. I don't have Bob's model personally, so I went ahead and found an image and just put it in there. And then it's pretty simple from there. Just shackles, arms, feet, neck, stuff like that. Make them feel like a low tier slave class. Anyway, that's it as far as these characters go. I think this is all of them that I did for Lost Colony. This is tier 1, 2, 3 plus 0. That's this one. And then the king and the queen. So there's the king, the queen. And then of course I showed some of this stuff. This is original. Like this didn't even make it into the game. But I hope you like it. If you have any questions about, how to make it into the industry, I wouldn't want to give you drawing advice or some really good stuff out there. I can if you guys are interested in that. But I'm more about I'd rather talk about stories and concepts, ideas. The rest of it is on you. You got to do the hard work. Once you put that in, then I think that's all you really need is to sit there and just draw for hours on end until you've got a style that someone else likes. Anyway, thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you guys soon.